fun music, man. You just want to get up and dance. This would be like the perfect Dance Dance Revolution song, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
That probably is a Dance Dance Revolution song.
It probably is. I haven't played that game in a long time. I used to play that on Heavy, actually, which is like the highest skill level.
I never really played Dance Dance Revolution that much. There's a Korean version of the game called Pump. That's what I played. I had some friends.
That's like at the arrows that are pointing in the weird directions, though. They're like at the diagonals instead of the up and down, left and right.
Yeah.
I don't like that as much.
Well, it's interesting. It's difficult. There's a lot of arcades with it here.
Yeah.
And I always get like my Korean girlfriends to like go over there and like do the little dances and stuff because they're actually really good, but I'm like really bad. But they're like these girls in Korea, and they're like Korean girls in the U.S. as well. They're just really good at this Pump game, and when I watch them play, I'm like, you're like so good.
You should have seen me play DDR, man.
I should have, man. Maybe we should get a mat. Maybe you should teach me how to play well.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get something for the Guy Mouse. But first, we're going to watch these guys play a match of StarCraft 2. I think I like that game a little bit better than DDR.
Me too.
I think so a little bit. But here we have I'm YoDa. He made it to the round of 16 last season, so he stayed in
You know what would make me really happy if what YoDa would do? If he would change his name to YoDa I Am.
It makes a lot more sense.
So awesome.
He's not going all the way with that idea. He's losing some potential, I think. I agree with you, Wolf. YoDa I Am.
That would be pretty funny.
I agree. I agree completely.
Well, YoDa is a very solid TVT player. I think he's got a pretty good chance here. In fact, I might even say he's favored over my teammate here, TheBest. Now, this guy, he is really, really known in the foreign community for being an all-inner. And
yes,
I'm actually going to call Artosis out here and say that Artosis is wrong. This guy actually has so many builds up his sleeve. Artosis and I talk about this all the time. But TheBest actually, when he plays on ladder, when he plays team games, he goes CC first a lot.
Yeah.
And Choya is the same way. He does a lot of timing attacks and all-ins. And both of these guys, if you ask them why they do these all-ins, they say, the nerves get to me, and I just do it. I just do. They say, like, I just do the all-ins.
You know, I feel bad for TheBest as well, because ever since that one game, he's just, like, known for terrible Banshee control, and I don't think it's really as bad as people make it out to be, but that was a pretty bad game. But I don't know if he should be characterized by that, you know? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think so either. I mean, I went into his booth before the game, actually, during that 5-minute break, and I asked him how he felt. And I said, fighting, and he said, fighting, and he said, I will win. And I said, yes, you will.
All right. So, look at that. If it goes to Game 3, which I hope it does, we actually get to see a game on Daybreak. That would be cool. Daybreak is our new map this season at the GSL.
It's a really good map.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm YoDa, downvoted Antigua Shipyard, which is, I don't know how I feel about that map yet. I like it in TVZ because it's pretty good for TVZ for a couple reasons. But overall, I'm not so sure I feel about that map yet.
That's a good map in my opinion. I like it.
I think it's the best of the new ladder maps that we've seen. But, yeah, we'll have to see it in action.
All right, guys, let's jump into the game.
All right, guys, here at the left side of GSL Belshire Beach, we've got our Terran player from the team, Incredible Miracle. He's been in the GSL for a little while now, at least a season or two. In the Star Wars universe, he's known as
I am YoDa.
He's known that way in the StarCraft 2 community as well. Much taller than the real YoDa. There's our
much
blue Terran player. That's right, but just as wise. On the right side of the map, from the team FXO.
FXO TheBest.
Took me a little bit longer to say because I was about to say Froyu, but then I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, if you say Froyu, no one's going to be offended.
Well, there's still like the Froyu clan.
Yeah.
They're still around, right? But it's just the team is now FXO.
Ooh, both players going gas first.
Yeah, and that's the reason for that is that we see in TVT a lot of players going with that mech, and they start their mech builds by opening Blue Flame Hellion, which a lot of Blue Flame Hellion openings require that gas first. So I'm not surprised at all to see this.
Well, if your opponent goes for one barracks expand, which is becoming more popular, it's not really popular on this map, but if your opponent does that and you go for a fast tech build, you can really, really punish them. And then it allows you to do both Blue Flame and Cloak Banshees quite well. I mean, not Cloak. You can't really do Cloak Banshees and Blue Flame very easily. What you can do if you open if you open Blue Flame and then you do a little bit of damage and then you follow up with Cloak, that's okay.
Yeah.
But you can't go like Cloak Banshees and then do like Blue Flame Hellions and do a lot of damage. I mean, obviously Blue Flame Hellions are just a core part of mech, but you can't do like that one Blue Flame Hellion drop after. It's better to do Hellions first. Anyway,
Well,
I'm
you'll
getting
have
into
a
like
little bit later.
the semantics of this build.
You're going too deep, Wolf.
I know.
These guys, their barracks aren't even done yet. Right now they are. Orbital command on the way, and a factory immediately for YoDa, not even getting that first Marine. And so his Marine will be a little bit later, but his factory will be a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
Does it matter?
The factory being earlier is actually the one that matters.
Yes.
The Marine not so important. The best making
That's right.
a reactor on his barracks, so we're probably going to see a quick expand here from him.
Yeah. So both players kind of mirrored up right now, except for the reactor.
Yeah. I think...
So they're not mirrored up is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Well, we're going to see... Usually when you see the reactor, you see a command center behind it.
Yep.
He may, of course, make Marines out of that barracks, which is a more common thing to see, but he may switch it and do some Reactor Hellions. On a map like this, you can use Reactor Hellions pretty decently. It looks like that is what he's going to do.
Yep. And
Look at
there
that
it is.
timing. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's so hard to time it up with the reactor. I'm so bad at that. Looks like a tech lab on the factory going down for YoDa.
Yeah, it looks
so
like he's going to do Blue Flames first.
I think you're right. There it is. Blue Flame with the nice blue upgrade.
Icon looks so good now.
Yeah,
When I watch
don't
some
even need
older
to call it.
games, when I see games that have been cast a while ago, I see that little red icon, I'm like, oh, well.
It's like you're upgrading the ability for the Hellions to actually attack.
It feels so old school. I remember in 2 years, where people are going to say, do you remember when the Blue Flame icon was red?
Yeah, that's right.
And some people are not going to remember. They're like new to StarCraft.
Like back in my day.
Back in our day, man.
Yep. Remember back when you could get all your minerals back for salvaging a bunker?
Do you guys remember when Banshee Cloak required a fusion core?
Or when, what was it, durable materials, the Raven upgrade required a fusion core as well?
Yeah. Well, the point defense, the Seeker missiles
wow.
as well. Look at this
Really
nice micro by
nice
the best.
Yeah. Very, very impressive.
He could actually go
keeping those
home
alive.
now.
I
That's
think
exactly what
he
he's
should.
going to do.
Yeah, that was great. I want to talk about one thing real quick, and that is huge, huge thank you to Startail Bomber for being the first player in GSL history to use Seeker Missile.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think we've
My
had any other
favorite spell
before
in the
that.
game. Yeah. He's
This
gonna
guy,
be my favorite
Doa,
player for the rest of all time.
He is
because
so
of that.
obsessed with Heat Seeker missiles, Hunter Seeker missiles.
I
like
love
going
Hunter
into the
Seeker
name.
Missile.
You never see
Man.
him?
Well, it's actually not called Seeker Missile anymore. It hasn't been since beta, but I still called it Hunter Seeker Missile because I've used it so much in beta. It's a terrible spell. It's really bad, but it's so awesome.
So it's just called the Hunter Seeker?
Hunter
Or-
Seeker Missile. It used to be. Now it's just Seeker Missile.
Oh, really?
Which is not as exciting.
That is really...
Yeah.
People used to call it HSM and everything.
Yeah, it's
Look at
because
this Hellion spread here.
All right. Blue
Despite
Flame.
the Blue Flames, he's going to be able to do so much more.
Yeah. And he does manage to chase those away.
I
There
like how he
is-
even had the SCV there to repair. No, what's really weird about what TheBest is doing is that he hasn't made a command center. Normally, you do this build, you make a command center.
I
He
am
is just making a lot of Hellions, but not getting Blue Flame.
Raven on the way for YoDa. Probably not Seeker Missile, though.
Look at that Marine getting a lucky kill there.
He got a little bit too excited there. He's actually going to die. He could have just went home.
He wanted to
And,
see if his opponent took a command center immediately or not. There's the command center. The Viking count getting pretty intense for TheBest.
Yeah, this is a really weird TVT. You know, we actually saw some of the strangest TVTs
Yeah,
ever in the Codex qualifiers.
I think he's going to do a timing attack with landed Vikings.
Yeah, that's how Maru Prime got into the GSL is landed Vikings. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, he's going to send these Vikings over here and do some mineral harass at the main base. And he's going to bring the Hellions.
He certainly could.
This is just something I've never seen before, man.
This is something that we hadn't seen before the Codex qualifiers. A bunch of Hellions coming in from the front. Oh, wow, this actually could work really well for the
He's
best.
taking out the Blue Flame Hellions of YoDa.
Look at that. Only one Viking, and all those SCVs are just going to get roasted.
This is such a cool little timing attack.
Yeah.
And I think YoDa is just going to lose here.
Look at
GG.
that. Wow.
I mean, we have seen Vikings used in little timing attacks. Like, we've never seen like two-pronged like Vikings landing over there, the Hellions going in the
Yep.
front. That was like the coolest thing I've ever seen, man.
And the
that
best-
game ended in like 2 seconds.
Dude, TheBest looks so happy right now, and he should, because you think you have TVT figured out. You're like, okay, I kind of understand how TVT works, and then this happens. TVT is going to be one of those matchups that's going to evolve every week over time. I mean, TVT is different this week than it was last week, and that's why I love it. TVT, man, it's my favorite matchup.
Something to note about that match was the Hellions of YoDa, you guys saw that one swipe where he almost killed all of the best Hellions. If he had gotten another one of those hits off, he would have been able to hold. The Vikings just damaged so many of those Hellions. It's exactly what the best wanted.
Yeah, and I'm loving the fact that we're seeing landed Vikings like suddenly used in TVT. Like, you guys should see, who was it? It was Maru Prime
Versus Lin.
Versus Lin, Fox Lin.
Was, yeah.
Game 2 between those guys on Metalopolis, I think it was, or was it game 1? One of the games, the Metalopolis game between those guys, once we get the Code qualifier VODs up, you'll get to see them, was really crazy. We had like one Hellion and like 2 Marines and landed Vikings like pushing, and it's just weird, but it worked. It was very cool.
Vikings are something, they're a high DPS unit that you can get with that idle starport, essentially. They're not like a better unit than other units to use on the ground, but with this timing, you already have that production facilities. You make the Vikings, and you do those little timing attacks. I loved how he did that. He sent them to harass, so that forces a response. And then he goes up with the Hellions at the front. That was so many Hellions, too. That was a very unique timing attack. It's not something that you see very often. That's a new thing.
I'm going to go back
new.
I'm going to watch that game again because I want all the details. I get my notepad document up on my second monitor, and copying everything down. That's cool. So we're about to move into the second game.
Yes, we are.
It's on a pretty big map. A map called Terminus.
It's been a while since we've seen this map, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into it.